which raises around 700 million pigs annually. That equates to over 100 million tons of corn being consumed by pigs every year. And that staggering figure doesn't even account for the feed needed for chickens, ducks, cattle, and sheep. The result is a paradoxical cycle. Humanity cries out about food shortages, while simultaneously diverting massive quantities of grain to feed animals, which we then process to eat as meat. The inefficiency of this system is glaringly obvious. The desert pig experiment in China has fundamentally rewritten this inefficient logic. The pigs in the Tengger Desert are not dining on precious corn or soybeans. They aren't consuming any kind of refined grain feed at all. Instead, their diet consists of something humans don't eat and most other livestock avoid: native sandland plants. Take for instance, Karagana korshinsky, known locally as Ning Tiao. This is a shrub with a life force comparable to a cockroach, capable of growing lush and green in environments with less than 200 millimeters of annual rainfall. In the past, its primary purpose was practical, but not agricultural, used for windbreaks, sand fixation, and greening barren slopes. It was essentially used as a living carpet to hold the desert in place. Even donkeys would turn their noses up at it. However, through a process of coarse processing and treatment with microbial fermentation cultures, this tough, unappealing shrub is miraculously transformed into a delicious feast in the eyes of a pig. Another example is plants like shadawang and kudozi, which were previously considered marginal foods that cattle and sheep in pastoral areas would actively avoid. Today, after being professionally formulated and improved as a feed source, they have been converted into an ecological feed that is rich in fiber and highly palatable to the pigs. Using these non-grain resources as the basis for feed doesn't just avoid competition with human food supplies. It effectively turns a barren desert into a productive feed base, creating value from a previously useless resource. According to estimates from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs, in 2024, each pig in the Inner Mongolia desert farms reduced the consumption of corn for feed by an average of 180 kilograms per year. When you scale that up across the entire operation, it's equivalent to a national saving of tens of millions of tons of corn annually. This indirectly frees up tens of millions of acres of arable land, which is like creating a small, new granary for the world.